Well, that happened. I'm not gonna touch that. And I mean, if you think you're disappointed, look who I voted for. I guess I got hit so hard during the Halloween video, I got up, thought this was a real campaign poster, went to the polls, didn't see his name on there, wrote him in, and now I'm just lost. What do I have to look forward to now? Thanksgiving? Alright, let's face it, Thanksgiving's not all that great. So let me give some good points first. Yeah, I get the week off. Everyone pretty much gets the actual day of Thanksgiving off. Yeah, that's great. Get to see friends, family, have a big meal together. Probably gonna watch the parade, some football. Okay, next day is Black Friday, but Black Friday's not even that big a deal anymore. You get the deals throughout the whole month now. Even up to Christmas, you're gonna get some pretty good deals. That might as well have been a Black Friday sale. So let's really think about it. What's everyone excited for? The food? Okay, turkey. Worst meat ever. No. I did not mean to do the comic book guy voice. But seriously, I'm at most gonna want it on a sandwich. Half the time you get it, it's pretty damn dry. And I've had turkey made by several different people. I'm convinced it's just what turkey is. I'll give the sides some effort because a lot of it is just average sides I would want throughout the year anyways. All the other crap, am I craving it at any other point of the year? Green bean casserole? Do I want that any other day? Do I want it on Thanksgiving? Cranberry sauce? It's there for the sake of being there. Hardly anyone even actually touches it. And going back a bit, family, there's probably a reason you're only seeing them once a year. You might strike up a conversation for a bit, but then you realize, guess we don't have enough to say even for one day. Guess we'll see you next year. At best, Thanksgiving is a bridge to Christmas, because you know what? Christmas has all the movies, the specials. I know I brought up the parade and football. No, that doesn't count. Look up Thanksgiving movies. Hardly anything is gonna pop up except a couple cartoons and some random horror movies. And there's gonna be a couple family dramas, but they just take place at Thanksgiving. There's no grand, this is the spirit of Thanksgiving like you're gonna have for Christmas. No, there's no grand tie-in like that. It's just, here's our family sucking at Thanksgiving. Now, I will say there is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's a classic right there. If you haven't watched that for some reason, go watch that. That's actually a quality Thanksgiving movie. But besides that, what is there? I mean, looks like we actually got something to talk about. Let's check this out. It's literally called Thanksgiving. And it's by Eli Roth. Okay, time to find out if this is any good. Just plug that in here. That's how Blu-rays work. Thanksgiving, the 2023 slasher film by none other than Eli Roth. Now, some years back, there was a little movie called Grindhouse. It's actually a double feature of Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof and Robert Rodriguez's Planet Terror. And in between it, what they wanted were some fake trailers to give that full Grindhouse theater experience. One of the fake trailers was directed by Eli Roth and was called
Thanksgiving. You'll come home for the holidays.
It was made to look like a lost trailer for an 80s slasher movie. It was very comical, over the top, and it looked like a pretty good concept for a movie just for how absurd and silly it was. And who knew all these years later, we'd finally get a full-length movie based around that concept of a Thanksgiving slasher. Not to say there aren't any other Thanksgiving horror movies, there's probably most notoriously Thanksgiving with a killer turkey. I haven't even watched that, so I don't really know what that's all about. I just know that don't exactly have the best reputation. But something about this one seemed fun. I mean, there's a lot of Christmas horror movies. I haven't really watched too many of them. I've watched a couple now and reviewed them on here if you want to check those out. But holiday slashers aren't too popular, but they are a thing that they'll try to do every now and then. Even with things like Valentine's Day, there's literally My Bloody Valentine, the original and a remake. And there's a new one coming out called Hard Eyes. I might talk about that one when it comes out if it's interesting enough. But the idea of a holiday slasher isn't super unique, but it is a territory that's not that treaded into, particularly for any genre into Thanksgiving. So our movie opens up by introducing us to our main set of characters. It is in fact Thanksgiving, but the night of Thanksgiving, it's about to be Black Friday. Our main girl, Jessica, her father owns the store that we're about to go visit. She's going out with her boyfriend, Bobby. I'm sorry, I'm not good with character names unless it's like you know, something big. They go off their friends. Apparently their plan is to go to a movie, but they want to go to the store, and because Jessica's daughter of the owner, she's able to get them all inside. Her boyfriend seems a little reluctant. He doesn't really want to go in, particularly because of this huge crowd. Apparently he's a bit of a star. He's a baseball player on a college team. Our other guys, we got some jocks, you know, they play football. One of the rivals there, apparently they beat him up, so it's not exactly the best encounter, and seeing them all heated on Black Friday, you know, things are gonna go down, and, well, they're too stupid to do anything to calm down the situation. They're all inside. Her friends, particularly, you know, the jocks, they're being assholes, just showing off what they got. It's like, oh, look what we can do, we're already in here, because the store's not open yet. Security's having a hard time cooling the crowd, and eventually, well, all hell breaks loose. The rival football player I had mentioned, he incites a riot when he gets a hold of a megaphone, and, well, they break into the store, but it's not instant. What happens is, on the inside, the manager in charge of the store this night, his wife was there to drop off some food, so she's there at the entrance. There's a security guard trying to keep the door shut, but then he's left with the dilemma of, should I go ahead and just open it since they're quite literally about to break down the doors? The security guard that was outside, he fled, and then now it's just up to the manager, the cashiers, and the one security guard actually left. What ends up happening? The crowd breaks inside. The security guard, he gets flattened, trampled, he does die. In trying to squeeze everybody in, we see a shopper get his throat slashed, we see other people getting knocked around, beat up, and then because of our people already inside, they also become some of the victims to these Black Friday incidents. People are fighting for everything. Like, there was a stupid giveaway, like the first 100 customers or something got a free microwave, so people are fighting over that. We see Jessica's boyfriend, he actually gets his arm broken while trying to save the security guard that was being flattened by the door. And that's a pretty big blow to a guy that's a college athlete. And perhaps the biggest blow, the manager's wife, she becomes one of the victims as she is knocked down and she gets scalped after her hair gets caught in some shopping carts. So while you could argue this was all accidents, this is all tie back to Black Friday savagery. It is really stupid, the number of incidents that happen on Black Friday. I believe it must have gone down with how much of it is online now and how many of the deals are available beforehand, but it's still a funny little thing to use as the plot to your Thanksgiving horror movie. We then cut to 1 year later. It is now the next Thanksgiving. I haven't said the name of the store, I guess I'll say now. Right Mart. Right Mart is prepping for its next holiday sale, but there have been protests against the idea since they did not take any responsibility for the numerous incidents that occurred last year. And because it's worth pointing out, it is the manager that is leading the protest against the store. He quit his job after, well, what happened to his wife. What people have been hoping for, including the daughter of the owner, was that they would keep the store closed and not do any sales at the very least. Because it just seems to really rub salt in the wound by holding another sale, practically an anniversary of a lot of people's deaths and serious injuries. One of the strange things that happened though was since then, no one's seen Bobby, Jessica's boyfriend. There was this guy they bumped into that, you know, he was clearly trying to hit on her, but no boyfriend's there. Well, she's with him now, so, I mean, does she like Bobby that much? I mean, come on, you moved on to the jackass? One of the jocks, I guess, is it Evan is the one I'm thinking of? He was recording everything. He likes recording when he gets in fights and things like that. Apparently he made and uploaded a video of stuff that happened from Black Friday and then uploaded that. But he did supposedly delete it. But now it's a year later, someone's resharing it around. They're all hanging around at a diner. Everyone's getting ready for Thanksgiving because where we live is, well, Plymouth, the pilgrim place. So this is like their big time of year. It's like, all right, Thanksgiving, hell yeah, let's whip out the freaking pilgrim hats and John Carver masks for some reason. Plymouth, people of Plymouth, if any of you see this, do y'all actually do that? Is it that big a deal for y'all? I'm genuinely curious. Everyone's hanging out, getting ready for partying, you know, everyone's free, everyone's going to be out. Our main characters are high schoolers, by the way, so it's like, I guess, they're about to be let off for Thanksgiving, and so there is some stuff happening at the school. They're hanging out, and Jessica swears she sees Bobby, but then she's not really able to pursue that. She's hanging out with her friends. She's looking out the window and sees a mysterious stranger standing around in a pilgrim outfit. A new account appears online and begins to tag all the friends as well as some other people from the Black Friday incident onto several posts. What ends up happening after these posts go up? People start dying. So our first victim is a waitress. She's a lady we saw at the Black Friday incident, and I believe she's the one that was pushing the cart that scalped the manager's wife. The diner's closing, and she's all by herself. A man dressed in the pilgrim outfit, well, he breaks in and starts attacking her. A few nasty things happen. There's a bit where she gets her face stuck to the freezer door and like rips off part of her face. She gets like cut up a bit, I believe, and then the way it all kicks off, she's out in the parking lot trying to grab her keys. Well, she can't find them. That's because the killer got her keys and is in her car. He tries to run her down, she runs away. As she's trying to get away, she's diving into a dumpster, and then the car crashes into that dumpster, slamming down the top, slicing her in half. Creative kill. Can't really say that was a planned kill though. The following day, half of the body is found on the store. Police discover the other part and they start investigating. The conclusion they come to on top of this account that popped up online is that the people being tagged were all there the night of the incident. It is possible that they are all going to be the next victims. Jessica's weirdly involved in the case. I mean, yeah, she's the daughter of the owner, but she's the one with having the most communication with the police. Another thing worth noting is that the sheriff, he's actually pretty close to the family as he was there for their dinner the year before. I guess there's all the relationship there, so it makes sense. And one of our next victims, the security guard that ran away. He's alone in his apartment talking to his cat, and then the guy breaks in, uses an electric carving knife, cuts him open, and decapitates him with the wire. And while the cat's still there and people are thinking like, oh crap, they're gonna kill the cat, he feeds the cat and leaves. He's not that bad, you know. He's not that bad of a guy. Just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy. So the two major settings that we have leading up to the end, which is going to be the big parade, is that we have them in school, but then there's also people prepping for the parade. One of the kills we actually get, it comes from the Thanksgiving fake trailer. Another one of the interesting kills we get is the killer sneaking around the school. Our cheerleader gets her boyfriend out. I guess he's like the trainer for everybody. She takes him into the gym, which is now closed off, and there's a trampoline inside, so it's just the two of them. She does a little strip tease for him on the trampoline. Guy's just watching. Killer appears, snaps the guy's neck, turns his head completely around, and then gets under the trampoline with a knife through it. Cheerleader lands on it. We don't really see if she dies here though. Two of the friends end up getting kidnapped, and Jessica is almost caught herself, but she manages to escape. It's a fairly creative chase sequence. There's a bit where she hides in the cosmetology room. There's all these mannequin heads, for practicing hair and makeup, and she tries to blend in with that. And the way she ends up getting away is, you'd think she's trying to reach for these scissors, right? Well, she fails, drops stuff, gets caught, but she grabbed the spray that was there and, well, sprays the killer in the face and is able to run off from there. And because the bodies are stacking up, people are scared, and, well, one of the other friends that didn't get abducted, she is going to go off to, I think, Florida or something random like that, and her family's packing up. So that girl's boyfriend, one of the other football players, he goes by Scuba. He and Jessica go off to this guy that we see pop up a few times. He seems like the town creep. He just has a bunch of guns, but he's more than willing apparently to lend a gun to a friend. So they get their piece and go on to meet up with their friend, which while they're on the phone with her, they realize, oh crap, she's in danger. Turns out Dad's rich, he has security and everything, but they're apparently not good enough. They get killed, Dad's killed, and well, this girl's next. What the hell is her? Yulia? And the way she goes down is pretty messed up. She gets stabbed in the ears, with those little corn holders? Both sides, so she becomes the piece of corn. She gets cut up and everything, but the real way she ends up going down, it looked like they were doing some renovating or construction in this house. And what she falls on is an open table saw and just rips her up. And I know it's messed up, but it's also done kind of humorously. The boyfriend, Scuba, he's like holding her and he's talking to Jessica and he's like, what do I do? Like he's trying to put her back together like freaking Humpty Dumpty. I don't know. It was funny, but it's like kind of sad and messed up at the same time. It made me chuckle. Seeing as there's only a few left, they cook up a plan to try and catch the killer. What they're going to do is lure him out by having the parade. Turns out though, the killer figured out their plan. And despite there being cops posted and everything, no one questioned the random clown in this Thanksgiving parade, and well, that's him. He's the one going around doing all this. What the killer ends up doing is he throws down smoke bombs and everything. He decapitates a dude in a turkey costume. And so everyone's panicking, freaking out. We got the parade floats crashing, killing some people. So some of the deaths are not directly the killer's fault, but he set the accidents to happen by causing the panic. Probably one of the more messed up ones is someone driving the float. There's like the thing, the front of the boat. I don't know what the hell it's called. It goes through the guy's head, and then I guess it's like his granddaughters or daughters next to him, just panicking, freaking out. He abducts everybody. So the killer now has Scuba and Jessica along with her family. There's an alright hiding sequence is what I'll call it here. But Jessica's stepmom, she ends up on a table and is getting dressed like a turkey. Something happens though and she actually manages to get away for a while. She's sneaking around, arms herself and everything. She finds the cheerleader from earlier in a fridge. She hasn't been killed yet. I don't know why she's like being saved. A little weird that she wasn't just killed and dumped completely. And right when you think she's in the clear, she gets caught. What's happening? Well, she's getting dressed as turkey. Gets cooked alive. We didn't cut to seeing all of our leftover people sitting around a dinner table. This is the dinner table that was used in all the posts online. He would take pictures of it and had seats marked for each person that he wanted to get. He has the head of the security guard, the top half of the waitress, then everyone else is tied up and gagged in their respective seats. Turkey's unveiled, causing the dad to throw up in his gag, which I'm very sensitive to vomit these days. I don't know why, so that grossed me out a lot. And to top it all off, this is all being streamed as well. So cops are trying to figure out where this is taking place. It leads them to a few fake places and they just watch the stream where they end up. So at no point do the cops end up finding the exact spot, at least not just yet. The killer ends up bludgeoning Evan, the other football guy, in the head till he dies. He finds him out, you know, those meat tenderizers. But during this, Jessica and Scuba, they're able to escape. They cut their ties and get up and they start trying to run away and attack the killer. Scuba puts up a bit of a fight, so I'll give him that, though, which allows Jessica to escape. There's one point during Jessica's escape that she has to jump a fence and it looks like she twists her ankle. And then we get this weird close-up of the killer. He's running around and he just runs through these plants and we have a weirdly focused shot of these plants. This ended up being an important detail for later, but in the moment it seems really stupid. And after, when we find out why that was important, it's still kind of stupid. But where she ends up making it to is the warehouse where they did all the floats. So let me bring up stuff I probably should have brought up earlier. At no point do we have a clear idea on who the killer is. You might be thinking it's Bobby, the boyfriend that got his arm broken. But then when you really look at it, it looks like the killer's too tall for him, but the movie the whole time wants you to think he's a suspect. Could it be the new boyfriend? You know, the jackass I brought up earlier. There's security footage showing that, well, he was talking to one of the other security guards at night, the one that got trampled, and was let into the store earlier too, apparently. Are we thinking it's the manager, you know, the one whose wife died inside, getting busted open, scalped? I mean, he has all the reason in the world to do it. Is it just another protester? Who knows? And that brings all now. We're getting close to our big reveal. At the warehouse, she finds the cop posted outside, but he's already been knocked down. She follows someone dressed in an outfit into the warehouse, and it ends up being Bobby, but then he escapes. Not too long after, the police arrive and inform Jessica that everyone is safe. Well, everyone has survived anyways. Jessica ends up alone with the sheriff, who's like trying to calm her down, saying what's gonna happen next. She looks down and sees what looks like part of that random plant we saw earlier on the shoes of the sheriff. Aha. Now that she knows, might as well find out why. Turns out the sheriff, he was actually with the manager's wife and they were expecting a child together. She was going to leave the guy and go off with him. But then because she died, that got taken away from him. So because no one faced any consequences of the events of that night, the sheriff took it on himself to take revenge. He wanted to target anyone that helped incite or connected to the riots in whatever way. What he had done was he abducted Bobby and dressed him up so he could try to pin everything on him. But as I said earlier, if anyone that got to see the killer saw Bobby, they would know he's too damn short to be the killer. Dude has the wrong physique for it. And while this just seems like, you know, the killer being a smartass, revealing his plan before he kills his last few people, gets away with it, Jessica was live streaming the entire thing. So now the chase is on, she's got to get away, and well, he's got to get arrested. It looks like she's finished, but Bobby comes to the rescue. The grand escape ends on a tow truck driving away, and the dude, he's literally walking. He's injured a bit already. He's slowly walking with the axe, making some of the dumbest jokes, puns, and then the funniest thing happens. There's a turkey float being filled up with gas, and then, well, Jessica shoots it with a black powder rifle, specifically a blunderbuss, so that's kind of cool. Blows up the float, sets everything on fire. Looks like Sheriff was burnt to a crisp. Now it looks like all is well for our survivors, and then, well, they couldn't find the body of the sheriff. All the while, we're having a weirdly long focus on this firefighter, you know, completely covered up where you can't see his face. Did he actually make it out? The movie's over, so who cares? It looks like they're alluding to a potential sequel, and I looked on IMDb and everything. It looks like there is a sequel listed, but not necessarily a confirmed thing. Just one of those things saying it's in development, so it may or may not happen. As it is, it's actually kind of a fun movie. The kills are nasty, as expected from Eli Roth. I feel like it's been a while since he had a good movie. Knock Knock wasn't all that great. But he does do some stuff here every now and then. His random, like, what was it? House with the Clock as well. It's kind of interesting, but I mean, this I feel like was going back to the good old Eli Roth we know and love. Talking more along the lines of like Cabin Fever. It's funny, silly. Well, the cast doesn't necessarily have a bunch of big names or anything. I think they all do a pretty good job. The kills are obviously the highlight. The Thanksgiving / Black Friday setting is pretty good one that had a lot of potential, and I think he did quite a bit with it. Could probably do a little more with the idea, but at no point did the movie feel like a chore to sit through. It was absolutely not boring. Dialogue's a little goofy, but it works out. Overall, I'd give the movie 7 out of 10. It's pretty fun. I like the idea of getting more of these holiday-themed slashers besides it just being, you know, the obvious one, Halloween. So this is a nice addition to the pile there. If you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the video. Feel free to follow me on my various social media platforms. I'm most active on Instagram, and I post movie reviews on Letterboxd fairly often, at least when I watch something new. Also, be sure to check out my other channels that I have when I review food, I have one for gaming, and I have one that I have some short films on. Been a while since I made one, but if anything's not tied to this, you can find that there. I'm Shyboy 616. Happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you next time.